A mass walkout of defense attorneys in New York City Thursday after what they call an ambush by immigration agents of a client making a routine court appearance. When word of the detention outside the court reached upstairs, about 75 public defenders took to the street. The walkout dramatizing the ongoing frustration of immigrant advocates with federal agents being at the courthouse, whose presence they claim intimidates witnesses and victims from coming forward out of fear of being deported. Monica Dula is an attorney with the Legal Aid Society, joins us now. Monica, you do represent the individual in question, so if you can give us a little bit of background exactly what happened to him.
My client is a 27-year-old married father of 3. He works every day for a living. He also attends Hostos Community College. He was arrested for a alleged altercation he had with someone on a bus. He's never been arrested before. This is his first contact with the criminal justice system. The district attorney decided to reduce this case from a felony to a misdemeanor. And we were walking outside of the courthouse, and approximately 8 ICE agents approached him. They told him his DACA application had been denied, and they arrested him right there. His wife was with him. It was very traumatic for her. I couldn't believe my eyes. This is not someone who is has a long record or has been involved in the criminal justice system before, so I was very surprised.
So he's here undocumented. His DACA application was turned down. Why?
I do not know why his application was turned down. He came to America when he was 3 years old with his parents. Both of his parents are citizens, but unfortunately they did not get citizenship for him.
Now, you had mentioned that ICE agents, which are federal agents, had arrested him and detained him. Where is he right now, by the way?
He is currently at Hudson County Jail, which is a location in, I want to say it's Jersey City, where they usually send immigrants.
It's a detention facility,
yes,
not a jail. Okay. How did it connect that ICE found this out from state or city officials? Do you know?
We're still trying to get that straight because New York City has said that they are not cooperating, but we believe that ICE does get notification whenever someone is arrested, and they're able to gather that information. It's public record when someone's case is on, so we believe that that's how they got it.
Now, there's been some statements that DACA dreamers, as their permission here expires, were not going to be arrested, not deported, but they had to stay out of trouble. So your client was arrested, has not been convicted, so maybe there's a difference of understanding what that means exactly.
Well, he was arrested. An arrest is based upon an allegation. It's not proven. When someone is convicted, that means that they've either taken a plea or been found guilty by a judge or a jury. My client has not been found guilty or taken a plea. This is an open case. We are actively fighting it. I believe that once all the facts are out, my client will be acquitted. And usually they come for people who've actually been convicted.
Does he have a date with an immigration judge?
He has no date. There's no mechanism for him to automatically go before a judge, so it will be 4 to 6 weeks before he sees an immigration judge. And then he will continue to fight the open case.
Okay, so let's talk about this in the bigger sense. From what I understand, this is not an isolated incident. This has been going on some time, specifically in and around New York City courthouses.
That's correct. After Donald Trump was installed as our president, we immediately saw ICE. They were there almost daily, whether they were arresting someone or not. They were lingering in the hallways. They were making everyone fearful, even people that do have status and don't have an open case were really shaken by the fact that these people were wandering the hallways. I mean, almost like lurking.
Is the this happened up in the Bronx?
Yes.
And so I could explain it for our international audience. New York City is divided into 5 boroughs, has 5 different district attorneys.
Correct.
Have you spoken to the district attorney's office, and have they told you anything?
Basically, the DA called me seeking information because she read about it in the media, and she was trying to figure out what was going on exactly, where he was now. and what was going on with the immigration matter. So I do believe that she will be producing him on his next court date if he's not out on bail.
They can produce some out of the immigration authorities will bring him to...
They may. I mean, it's strictly up to the immigration authorities whether or not they're going to bring him to the Bronx to fight that case.
Okay, so what are you doing to educate undocumented immigrants who may end up within the court system?
Well, the Legal Aid Society does have a card that we hand out to all of our immigrant clients.
And you have a copy of that
yes,
card here?
Yes, they do, and I just want to read this out to you quickly. If you are stopped or arrested by ICE or the police, you have the right to remain silent. Do not say anything except your name, and you want to speak to a lawyer. Do not give your country of birth, your immigration status, or how you enter the United States. If you are arrested and detained by ICE and your case will be heard by an immigration judge in New York City, a free lawyer will be assigned to you if you cannot afford one, unless you already have a deportation order or already in proceedings. If you miss a court date, a warrant will be issued for your arrest. If you miss your court date, contact your lawyer. And last but not least, if you are a parent of a minor child, ask to speak to a lawyer about steps you can take to plan for caring for your child.
Do undocumented immigrants who get arrested by ICE have the same rights a criminal defendant has either in the federal or state system?
Not all of the same rights, but you do have a right to an attorney. You can get an attorney to represent you in immigration court. The immigration courts are very complicated and very unforgiving.
And they're understaffed, aren't they?
Understaffed. There are few judges. That's why it takes so many months for someone to see a judge. And it's very difficult because there are more people than staff.
What are the conditions like in these immigration? Because they're not considered jails.
Correct.
They're considered detention centers.
Correct.
Because they're not necessarily charged with a crime,
Correct.
other than being in the country illegally.
Right.
So what are the conditions like where your client is right now, for example?
They're not so nice. I mean, they're very similar to jail conditions. There have been instances in these facilities where people needed medical attention and never got medical attention. They're not always fed like they should be. They're not always given medication like they should be. They're not always treated with the same rights that people on Rikers would even be entitled to. So it really is a prison. They don't call it that, but that's really what it is.
What do you think now needs to be done? Because this is going to have to be solved on the congressional level.
Correct.
With the president.
Correct.
These are real life stories, but there's nothing that state officials could probably do at this point. There's a lot of things lawyers can do by demonstrating, as you
Correct.
have, but what has to happen in Congress, in your opinion?
We just need to see people reaching out to their Congress people to make it known that these children should be allowed, these people that came here as children should be allowed to become citizens of the United States. They contribute, they go to school, they work, they're doing everything that we would want a good American to do, and we need to reward them. They came here not on their own volition. They were brought here as children with their parents, so we need to give them citizenship so that they can be the true Americans that they are.
And the bar should be, would you agree, a criminal conviction of a felony for turning them down for DACA? There needs to be some demarcation, and I don't think that's clear what it is right now.
Well, the reality is my client has no
criminal record?
No criminal record whatsoever.
And this would be a misdemeanor?
If he was convicted of the top charge, yes, it would be a misdemeanor. But, you know, you can investigate these people. You could implement the same regulations that you put on everyone else who seeks to be a citizen. But the overwhelming majority of these people have never been arrested before. They work every day, go to school. So they should be able to be citizens.
Okay. Monica Dula, defense attorney with the New York City Legal Aid Society, and I know there's not enough people in the Legal Aid Society as well.
No, there isn't. We
Terribly
need
underfunded.
more.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me.